All right, hello. Abel Pacheco here, your host for the Five Talents podcast. We are super excited today because we're going to have our buddy Ahmed rejoin us for a second show. He's the man. He's a big developer, construction, has done a number of different builds. If you don't know him, you need to get connected to him. He has done commercial, retail, multifamily, all types of projects for the last 10 years. He's been crushing it, under his own flag. And number of years in brokerage before then, but man, I'm excited. Ahmed, thank you very much for joining. How's it going, dude?
Good to see you, Abel. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, man, just doing great, man. Family, friends, a little bit of real estate. I can't complain. How about you personally? What's going on?
Just been busy, just been busy. A lot of stuff going along. Over the last year, I picked up a bunch of property, a bunch of dirt, moving it forward for development, looking for some investments, and just trying to juggle it all at the same time.
Yeah, dude, that's great, man. You were definitely doing it big, and I'm excited to have the conversation. So, for those that don't know you, let me just start here. Please tell us, in your own words, man. Tell us who you are and what you do, and we'll start a great conversation here.
It's really simple, man. There's just one thing about me is I like to play in the dirt, kick rocks, play in the dirt, dig holes, and build cool shit. That's my thing. 23, 24 years in the real estate business now. Started after college as a commercial broker for a very large industrial commercial real estate company out here in Southern California. A lot of people know it by the name CB. Back in the day, it was CBRE or CB Richard Ellis. Spent years as a broker doing industrial and office deals. Kind of transitioned my way through that, learning about industrial investment development, and then started working for some large commercial construction firms as project management. So as being a part of large commercial projects, as well as civic projects, building high schools, colleges, universities, and then along the way, started a business about 17 years ago and started investing and developing in multifamily and commercial buildings at the same time. So now, come full circle, I've taken that investment and development business and I'm focusing on that full time right now and trying to grow it, focusing on large scale multifamily projects, 100 plus units, as well as small to medium industrial buildings, which are anywhere from 5 to 50,000 square feet as development for sale product. So just, trying to keep my focus narrow in terms of multifamily and industrial development and trying to just to be an expert as much as I can as I'm continuing this development and investment journey.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. You've
Yeah.
had a number of different cycles on a number of different, asset classes through the years in multiple roles. So it kind of seeing how that stuff come together in 10 years, finally under your own, and that's awesome, man. So congratulations. So you're doing a couple multifamily deals today, but a lot of background, in the past. Maybe let's talk about what you're doing today.
Yeah, well, the multifamily journey started 17, 18 years ago when we purchased our first property out in Phoenix, and we purchased more after that. So built the Phoenix portfolio up to a couple hundred units as passive income. And along the way, buying and developing commercial property as well. So currently right now I have in the pipeline, somewhere between 8 and 9 projects, all the way from Southern California, as far south as Newport Beach, all the way through the Inland Empire where I'm at right now, and then out through the Dallas market as well. So trying to develop properties and move them through that development process, move them through that entitlement process, and build the team that can support me in the business at the same time. So it's almost like juggling, because I'm juggling real estate development projects, I'm juggling passive investments, and at the same time, I'm juggling trying to build that team. And it's becoming a bit of a challenge because I have to put on 2 hats and I'm not able to focus at what I'm really good at, which is real estate development.
Yeah, playing in the dirt, like you said, right? The development side. So, for our, I know in our first conversation we dug in a little bit to your background, but I gotta honor our brand new listeners and subscribers today. We are hitting about 30,000 downloads a month right now. So there's a lot of new folks, maybe that didn't hear that first conversation.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how you grew up, man. Were you like always in real estate? Is your family there? Where did you grow up? How did you grow up? And let me pause at those two questions.
Well, just like every Middle Eastern son or daughter of an immigrant, I grew up either in the gas station or a liquor store, right? So I grew up with gas.
I'm waiting for it. I'm like, what is it going to drop?
Hey,
Wow. Okay.
man, no one could rip a gas pump apart and put it back together faster than I could, right? So
Wow. Yes.
yeah, because you grew up working in the family business, almost like every immigrant family, whether it's a grocery store or a construction business or the gas station or whatever it may be. You grew up working for the family. This is how the family dynamic is in a lot of immigrant families, not just Middle Eastern, but across the world or around the world.
Yeah.
So I grew up pumping gas, from junior high all the way through college. It took me 7 years to get through college because I was working 60 hours a week in the gas station, 7 days a week, waking up at 5 a.m. to unlock the door and open the place at 6 a.m. every day for 7.5 years, and then going to college at nights and on alternate days. So it was a lot of work trying to go to college and get an education and graduate, and at the same time being responsible for a business and waking up every morning at 5 a.m. for 7 years to also support the family. So it was a lot of work. So I grew up pumping gas, and we finally got to a point where we're like, we need to get out of this business. This is draining us. This is taking a lot of time and effort. And it was a great education because you learned a lot, but we're able to sell our business and finally take some of that money and start investing it into real estate. And where we went out and bought the first multifamily units out in Phoenix back in 2007, I think it was.
Wow, 2007. You must have this amazing price point in Phoenix back then.
Amazing price points in Phoenix, right? Yeah, those are like the cornerstones. You're not touching those. Let them stay and have all the equity and the cash flow. Yeah, you don't touch them. But it wasn't always that easy because you bought in 2007, 2008, 2009, and that's when the market went down. That's where things crashed, and that's where a lot of people lost their properties. A lot of multifamily and commercial investments were going back to the banks. People were coming out of pocket every month to make that mortgage payment because the properties were not producing enough income to make that mortgage payment. And we barely made it through by the skin of our teeth, but it went back to the old school mentality of, hey, we got a problem here. The economy's tough. The property is struggling because of the economy. We need to go back to old school mentality, old school tactics, old school work ethic, and get this property through the downtimes, the bad times. So we were, it was like, hey, we're not spending money on anything. If it's broken, we'll fix it ourselves. We're not going after this. We're not changing this. We're not doing anything. We went down to the bare basics just to make it through that market. And once we got through after 2010, 2011, hockey stick after that.
Yeah. Let's pause here real quick, Ahmed, because I want to ask more questions about your developments and build better. But this mindset that you just talked about, it mimics and reflects some of the challenges that people had to go through in 2018. It mimics and reflects some of the mindsets and challenges that we thought we were going to have during COVID. It went the opposite way for multifamily during those 2020 years. But today, we record this March the 2nd, 2023, right? Yeah. Fed is ramping up interest rates like crazy. If you're in a commercial rate, non-fixed loan, the variable rates, interests are higher. You're paying for rate caps. Even that, they're hitting these peaks, and you're just trying to make it. I've heard the term, and I'm going to say it again, survive until 2025, because we're hoping that interest rates at some point will hit their max, start coming down slowly. They're projecting to 2024. They're probably going to be high all the way till that point. And we've got to survive by the skin of our teeth. And we're trying to hold on to what we have because we know on the other side, real estate is cyclical, right? It goes up and down, right? So now it's a tough time again. And man, can you maybe give us any of that insight or wisdom that you can reflect on, similarities, comparisons, differences from then to now?
Yeah. Stop what you're doing. Stop trying to ride the wave. Stop trying to expect your equity to grow. Stop thinking that rents are going to grow. Stop thinking you're going to increase your rents. Stop thinking it's going to continue as business as normal, and it's not. You got to get back to being a real, true real estate investment practitioner, right? Meaning you got to cut your expenses, cut your capital improvements, cut your expenditure for everything, and go back to what's really important: providing a good, safe, clean place for your tenants, whether it's retail, office, industrial, or multifamily. You have to go back, and that's what I did recently. Was I was renovating many of the units and adding washers and dryers, cabinets and countertops, and doing a full renovation across one of the properties. And when I saw things starting to change and shift, I called my management company, I called my management team. I said, stop everything. No more renovations, no more capital expenditures, no more big expenses. So everything stops, right? All you need to do is provide a safe, comfortable, clean environment, because people are going to start dialing down their expenses. There's massive layoffs happening. People want to save money. So why don't we give the people what they want versus pushing them towards what we want? We want to get those high rents. We want to get those new and renovated units and get the people in there and charge those types of rents for those. But people don't want that right now. They want safe, clean, good environment that's less expensive and something they can afford. Because if they can pay $200 or $300 less for an apartment, they're going to do that, because that $200 or $300 that they're saving that's their car payment, that's their insurance, that's their gas money, whatever it may be. They want to save that money right now. So it's your obligation as a real estate investor and a real estate owner to provide that for your tenant. Not what you want, it's what they want. Like I said, when you build and develop, you don't build for yourself, you build for the market. And if you're not giving your tenants what they deserve and what they demand right now, you're not really doing a good job as being a real estate owner.
All right. Well, a good insight, great insight, because, we're trying to deliver to our customer what they want, and our customers, in this time period, that it's different for everyone, obviously, in different markets and submarkets and different classes, and you're an A class or C class, whatever. But the point, I think I definitely heard from that was, man, you can't expect things to go up and to the right, as always. You can't expect things to continue rising. And maybe you wrote this pro forma or made some assumptions a year ago, and you thought it was just going to keep going up. Well, no, you got to readjust, and you got to figure out what we need to make changes to. And then if you keep our core customer at the front and center of what we're delivering, what they want, deliver what they want, we're going to be able to make it through, just kind of keep pushing. And then, I love it on the real estate. It's buy and hold it. Let's try to see how long we can go, right?
It's the same thing as owning a restaurant. If you're going to make food for yourself and expect people to want it, maybe you might make it, maybe you're not. But if you make food for the customer, for the client, for the market, and give them what they want, you're going to do a whole lot better.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So Ahmed, I know I paused you. So back then, that was the real estate and multifamily you're doing. And then for the past 10 years, you've been developing, you've been playing in the dirt. For those that have no idea what it takes to develop, and I know you're not going to teach us all how to do that in 20 minutes, but can you give us an idea of what does that mean to develop something from brand new? What are the different phases and stages, and what are you doing?
It goes back to giving the market what they want. Right. Mm-hmm. So as a developer, this is a business. And if you have any sort of personal aspirations in this, for whatever reason, you're not going to do a good job. All this is you're providing a service and you're solving a problem for somebody, right? And that is providing housing, multifamily units, industrial, office, retail, whatever it is. You're providing a solution to a problem that's right now in the market. So what I do is, after all the experiences I had in commercial real estate as a broker, and then working for large construction firms and running the project management divisions in those companies and building large projects, it's helped me understand that, hey, I'm able to spot a hole in the market. I'm able to spot a need. Now let me take that construction and development experience and fill that hole and serve that need. And that's what I do. So right now I focus on markets that I understand: Southern California, Phoenix, Dallas, And right now, those are the development markets that I'm active in. And I focus because I understand those markets. I've been in those markets for a number of years, and I understand where those markets are going and what problems or what needs need to be satisfied in those markets. And then I will take my development experience, my construction experience, and put those together. There's a need. I have the experience to create that housing or create that product that they need. Let me put that together in a development. So it goes from site selection and location, finding a site that will actually be feasible for a certain type of development, going through that entitled process, which is plans, permits, architects, zoning, city council, planning commissions, third-party reports, traffic reports, fire department, police department, noise, photometrics, designs, densities, general plan amendments, all that kind of stuff needs to be put together depending on the complexity of the project to move it from idea to execution. And then once you get an approval, then it starts the construction process, which is a whole other conversation that we have, right? So it's about taking all those pieces and trying to act as a conductor of an orchestra, right? Saying, hey, I know good music and I know good artists who can play good music. Let me take that good music and those artists and put them together to create a symphony that the public demands and the public will like and the public will want. So it's all about playing air traffic controller and knowing what needs what and where it needs to go and when it needs to happen.
Yeah, I like your description of it. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You're trying to deliver what other people need, their desires, their wants, maybe even before they know it. But you're like, man, you've got this great market in this area where people are coming, population growth is occurring, and real estate requires people. Whether it's commercial, retail, triple net, industrial, warehouse, whatever, multifamily, it all requires people. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to fill it anything you want. And so, man, you're predicting and projecting, what they need at that moment in time, and then you're putting it together. And I like the symphony and the orchestra. Man, there's strings, there's there's all the instruments, and the orchestra is coming together. Somebody's got to be, the lead and play it on point. And so you're trying to bring it together. Your orchestra.
I may not be good at the drums or the strings or the horns, but I know what sounds good and I know what process and what goes when and where and how. That's what I am good at.
Yeah. This is a fun one too, because we have a lot of entrepreneurs that are on, here. There's a lot of people that want to create wealth. There's a bunch of passive investors. We have a number of different number of different members of our audience that make up, come from different backgrounds. For those that see value in any one of your areas of expertise, when you see value of project management, this is where, one of those spots where I think you're really going to like, a couple of questions that I ask Ahmed, right? Because there's like 1,000 things that are happening, right? In a land entitlement, land development, you're looking at numbers, you're looking feasibility, you're meeting with the city, you're trying to ask them what they want and deliver to them. You've got mechanical, electrical, plumbing, engineering. You've got all these people that need to approve, and then you've got permits and blah, 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 all these things, right?
Yeah.
But if you have 8 or 9 deals happening at one time, like right now, how in the world do you keep up with this? Because
I'm not doing a good job at it at all. That's why I'm it's like, hey, I know what to do and how to do it. I'm the best person that I know that can do it. Yeah. But you can't do it alone. You know what I mean? It's like I'm like a gunslinger and I'm out there just, reacting to everything, but I'm not being proactive, right? I don't have a team. I don't have a group or a core group of people that can support me, the business, and our developments. So I'm actively also trying to build that team, right? I'm trying to fill those spots that I need, when I need, and how I need with the right people. So it's kind of like development, it goes in a certain process. You got to do this first, this second, this third. Same thing with the team. You got to hire this person first, this person second, this person third, and they got to be hired and they got to come on board at the right time. So it's like I'm conducting this air traffic control of development. And at the same time, I'm trying to conduct and create this air traffic control of a team that comes on board and they work together in the right way. So it's pretty challenging right now, but it's something that we all need to do if we want to grow and scale.
Yeah. Ahmed, he's on point 100%. If you've got a business and you're trying to juggle growth, you're trying to juggle the next phase of, scale, and you can't do it on your own. You may have a team that's been helping you thus far, but if you're going from 1, 2, or 3 projects in whatever industry you're at and you're listening, if your business, you're an entrepreneur and you're like, well, I've successfully grown from 0 to 500K or 500K to 2 million. Now there's a different phase that you're trying to get to within your business. And that is going to require more people, more, a better team, a different team than what you've had in the past. And what he outlined, right, is like, hey, who do I hire first? How do I get my plan together? Who's my integrator? Who's my executor? Who's going to help me deliver that? And, how the heck do I keep track of it? And I think I also heard you mention, Ahmed, is like, there's all these things that people have to be experts in their domain. Yeah. And you don't have to be the expert of all the domains.
No.
You just need to pull the right person that can play the horn, the strings, the drums, and you can pull it all together. And that's, it's a big part of being a great entrepreneur, a great leader in scaling, right?
Yeah, it's a lesson in humility, to be humble, right? Like, I got to understand that as good as I think I am, I'm really not good at a lot of things, but at least I recognize that. And then I know the right people that are better than me at those things and try and bring them on the team for sure.
Yeah, 100%. So what kind of people are you looking for? In case anybody's listening to this right here is like, I'm going to reach out to Ahmed.
Definitely an executive assistant, junior project manager type role. I will be looking for a superintendent project manager to be in the field here later this year to handle the jobs that are kicking off, because I will probably have a couple of those jobs kicking off later this year locally. Some of the bigger projects, I'll probably just hire a construction firm to handle those for me, or general contractor, just because of the size and scope is so big. I don't want to, they're able to mitigate the risk in that process a whole lot better than I could. But for the smaller projects I got, I definitely will handle those in-house. But my first step right now, and I've been interviewing, is hiring an executive assistant, junior project manager, someone that can support me. And then I can also train to support those jobs that are going through the entitlement process, plans, permits, architects, engineers, city councils, and everyone else that they need to coordinate with. They can do that on a daily and weekly basis on my behalf.
Yeah. I guess someone's got to push the ball forward.
Someone's
got to make a call. Someone's got to hold someone accountable to the deadline that they gave us.
100%.
Someone's got to do it, right?
Yeah.
And it can't be one person all the time, right?
Yeah.
So
true.
Got to keep doing it. Well, I look forward to seeing the outcome of everything. So
so do I.
So let's give someone a mindset here, for financial freedom, for wealth creation, for taking $1 million and making it 2. Like, what are some of the mindsets, paradigms, and thought processes that I should have if I want to take this undertaking? And feel free to pick up wherever you think, you're a pro at, man.
I think it's about becoming really good at something and figuring out your strengths, your inherent strengths, and doubling down on those, right? And using those to your advantage. So when I first got started in my, personal growth, personal development, business growth journey, I have a very good friend of mine who is an owner of a construction firm here in Southern California. They probably build a couple $100 million worth of projects every year, right? I mean, we're talking anywhere from, on the low end, I think they're building $200 or $300 million up to like $500 million a year in projects. And he's an owner of the company. And he had me take a test, which was called the Clifton Strengths Finder, right? It's a test that you take online, maybe about 20 minutes. And what it does is it helps you identify your inherent traits that you're naturally good at, right? So let's say you're naturally good at sales, or you're naturally good at processes and systems, or you're naturally good at communication and outreach. It will help you identify those traits. And I took the test and I found out that I'm a very good connector, a very good influencer. I'm the kind of person that can put people together. So what it is in your entrepreneurial journey, whatever you do, figure out what your natural strengths are and then double down on it. Because if they're a natural strength, you're naturally good at it. You're naturally good at it. You're going to naturally enjoy it because there's progress and success out of it, right? So figure out what you're naturally good at and double down on that, because it's going to be a whole lot easier to get good at something you're naturally good at than trying to get good at something you may not like or something that may not interest you. So definitely find that aspect of your personality and double down on it and figure out how to make money or how to be successful at it.
Yeah, I love that mindset. I love that, these kind of viewpoints on where you should spend your time, number one. And I grew up in tech, and my CEO, founder, chairman of the board, kind of, all the guys back then, they had the same thought process and principle. And that was spend your time in your strengths, hire or partner for your weaknesses. And the mindset that Ahmed's giving is, to my point, I'll speak, just about me, right? It was like, man, I have problems with organization. I am not the project management person. I'm not a Gantt chart guy. I'm not the, I need that systematic approach. I'm kind of end up going like on the visionary mindset of like, I have all these ideation and stuff, but actually getting it done. And so the point there at our tech company was partner with the people or team up or hire for your weaknesses, because you can, if you're bad at organization and you're a 1, you can spend all this time, effort, and energy and maybe get to a 4 or 5, maybe, but it's not.
You're lucky.
Okay. But if you have a strength and you're a 5 or a 6 and you spend all your time, effort, and energy on the strength, you can get to an 8 or 9 or maybe even 10 in your strength. And that's the area that you need to spend, as opposed to trying to get to a 5 or taking my 5 to a 10. Yeah. And, I love that mindset.
Yeah. Just be humble. Just recognize that we are not good at everything. Even though we think we are, we're not. And just recognize that. I'm good at executing and getting things started, but maybe I'm not good at maintaining that flow. That's why I need to hire that project manager to move that forward for me. Like, I can kick it off. I can make that kickoff, or I could pass the ball, but I am not the guy that runs it down the field. You know what I mean? I know where to throw it, but I'm not going to be the one that runs it. Yeah.
And if anybody knows the Clifton Strengths Finder, I'll give everyone mine, because I think I still remember most of them. I was a strategic, self-assurance, significance, woo, and focus.
Oh, the woo is good.
Yeah. And I think I was like, I was heavy influencing, a little bit of strategic thinking, a little bit of execution, but my highest was in the influencer mode.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Win others over. When I knew I was like, hey, self-assurance, I think this is a good idea. I'm going to move forward. And on the significance part, I was like, I want my name to be there. So, yeah, man. Anyways, this good stuff, man. Well, Ahmed, before we go, because I have a few more questions, but before we go, I want to talk about Build Better, and I want to really give folks an avenue to reach out to you. So maybe somebody is that perfect executive assistant person that you're looking for, or maybe somebody just wants to talk to you about investing or different projects or whatever. Who do you want to reach out to you, and where should they go? We'll capture that.
So right now I'm building my social media more and more to connect and to put good information out there, right? Because I feel like if I help, show, teach, educate people to do better, then it will only, help me do better, right? So it'll help me execute better. So the best way right now is social media is on Instagram. I put most of my time on Instagram. So that's one thing to focus on. And number 2, it's all about building better. So having this career, I've seen really, really great projects turn out really, really poorly, right? Because people then put the extra time, effort, and attention into taking something that could have been really amazing and take it there, but they like to cut corners. They like to save a penny. They like to save a minute. They like to do these things that really didn't take much effort, but they could have taken them so much further. So I started educating people about building better, right? And building better could be applied to any industry. Whether you're in the fitness industry, you're building better health and better bodies. If you're in the financial industry, you're building better portfolios and better returns for your clients and your customers. If you're in the real estate industry, you're building better projects and building better investments for the people who are going to be a part of those things. So I like to teach people how to build better, and that really comes down to a mindset, meaning if I'm required to think about this or making a decision about this, how do I take that and push it a little bit further so I get the best decision made possible? I actualize the best opportunities out there. How do I push people to do the best job possible that is only not a benefit for them, but a benefit for me as well, right? So it's about changing that mindset and just taking it, and everyone talks about the 1%, and this is kind of like a deviation of that, but it's like pushing that just a little bit more, asking those questions, looking for those opportunities, and executing on all the possibilities out there that take something from good to great. And it's about building better. And it started with building better projects, because I've seen some really nice projects turn out really, really bad because someone did not take that building better mindset and execute on it.
Yeah, you got to build better no matter what you're doing, what you're working on. And if you can have a bad outcome, but that really started out on the right path up front. But man, if you're not taking the strategic, calculated, right approach, the way to do it better is kind of a med saying is like, man, you can see something go south really quick, and ask me how I know, right?
Yeah.
I've had that enough.
Yeah, all it is a shift in the mindset, right? It's about shifting that mindset, saying, hey, how can I do something good that I'm already doing, but do it better? Right? Mm-hmm. What's that shift going to take? What's that little push going to take you from good to great, as they always say, or from great to amazing? What's that little shift? And it starts with your mindset, and it starts with executing after that.
All right. Very good. And so you said to reach out to you via Instagram. What's your tag?
Instagram is Ahmed Builds Better.
Ahmed Builds Better, baby. I love it. Okay. No baby, just Ahmed Builds Better.
Ahmed Builds Better, yeah.
I just added on the baby. I love it.
Well, if I have kids one day, we can add the baby. Yeah.
That'll be a fun one, man. That'll be a fun one.
For sure.
So, okay, we've got a few more minutes. I have, maybe a few more thought processes that I'd love to work through. Right.
Sure.
On this topic of building better and working things out for success on the outcome, what are some of the basic principles, the things you say, hey man, if I want to start a project here, want to develop ABC in this particular area, what are some of the things that you look for, maybe starting at the ground level? Like, how do I even know it's the right place to build, and what am I developing? And maybe you can get a little technical on this for a minute.
So this is pretty much going back to understanding your market, right? Understanding your product type, understanding what you do best, right? So with you, Abel, it's multifamily. With me, it's multifamily and industrial, right? Mm-hmm. So if you ask me about retail or office or other product types, I could be good at it, but I'm not the best I can be at it. So it's about focusing on what you know best and what you can really execute on. So that comes down to multifamily and industrial. I look for these opportunities where multifamily and industrial buildings can actually happen, become a very good product or a good project. So it comes down to looking for those things in the areas that like, hey, looking for an opportunity. Hey, is this a good site? Is this a good redevelopment site? Does it have good access? Do you think the city would support it? Would the community be okay with it? Does the community need it, right? So it's about taking all of those ideas and thought processes and putting it into and creating a story, right? It comes down to, what is that story? Whether it's for a multifamily investment, what is that story? We're going to buy it. We're going to raise rents. We're going to renovate it. We're going to reposition it. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this, right? What is that story? Same thing for development. Hey, this is an opportunity. This is a site. This is a piece of dirt. This is an old building that can be torn down. We can build this. The zone and the general plan have changed. The community is needing this. This is where the area is going or trending in terms of redevelopment or new development, and taking all those pieces and putting it together and creating a story. One thing I tell people a lot, and I'll share with your audience, in real estate, especially development, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Right? Meaning take your heart out of it, take your ego out of it, take everything out of it and bring it back down to a financial equation. Will it make sense financially? We're in this business because we're here to make money and support our friends and our family and to create generational wealth, right? We're not in it for our ego. If your ego comes into play and it doesn't cost you anything, that's great, right? But we're doing this for ourselves, for our friends, our family, and the community, and the market at large. So just because you can doesn't mean you should, and break it down. Does this financially make sense, and can I make money with this project? And that's something that I really try to emphasize to people, because a lot of people want to build for their ego. Oh, I want to build this house, and I want to build it like this, or I want to build this and do this. I'm like, is that an equation that's based on your ego, or is that an equation that's based off of market facts and financial numbers that make sense?
That makes perfect sense, man. We're not doing all this stuff just to, have this big project at the end and put our name on it. Yeah. We do and like to do that, but first and foremost, if it doesn't serve the market, serve the potential, the best possible potential, then you're not going to make the best possible returns. We're not going to have the biggest and best, highest use there. We're going to, fall short and likely have one of those buildings that's empty, or less occupancy than we intended for.
You've seen those, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's some in every city. I mean, you see them and they're there and like, man, this could have been, would have been, whatever, but it's not. And it's had a sign on it forever, and it's either for sale, for lease, whatever. And you're like, man, how long has that been in this area, right? So it's just that happens, right? Yeah. But man, this has been good stuff. What before you go, any other things that you were hoping I asked about we just didn't get to talk about, or any last words of wisdom, man? Because you have a lot of knowledge. I want to make sure to give you any area of opportunity to give one if you got it.
It's all about, putting it out there that me, Abel, we build better. So if I'm able to share that mindset and share that process of building better, that means your audience will build better. And if your audience builds better, it only pushes me to build better, right? So it's kind of like a rising tide lifts all boats. So if everyone is building better in their respective industries, it just pushes everyone else to do better. And when everyone else does better, everyone else benefits, especially the client and the end user. They benefit as well, more than we do. So just, it's that mindset, building better and finding the ways and the mindset and the strategic steps that you need to take to do that.
All right. I love it. Ahmed, thank you so much, man. It's been an amazing few minutes, and great to have you again on the show. Repeat guest. And it's been good, man. So thank you very much. Let me give a quick shout out and thank you to our sponsors as well, over at Anderson Advisors. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the opportunities that you've given us. So if you need some tax and asset, guidance, a little bit of, instruction, education, or execution on that, those guys are amazing. We've got a special, I guess, because you're a subscriber, listener of the Five Talents podcast, they put together a tax and asset protection workshop. So I think it's like a free one-day, virtual event. I think the next ones are coming up sometimes March, or they've always have them going on. So no matter when you're looking at it, but go to our website. It's aba.link/5 talents. So aba.links/5 talents, and you'll check it out there. So I want to say thanks to our sponsors. Ahmed, thank you as well. And for all of our subscribers, listeners, so we appreciate you. Thank you for leaving us all the 5-star reviews. And thank you for joining us. We'll hope to see you on the next one. Ahmed, you're the man, bro.
Good to see you, Abel.